Hey guys, welcome to yet another episode of Konnekt Live that goes down every Wednesday from 8 p.m. And today we are going to have a mid-month premiere whereby you get a chance to have your car questions answered. Na before tuanze show, kama kawaida, venye si ufanya, we take salamus from everyone here. Tunachukua salamu ndio kutuambia how has your week been, what were the highlights of your week. Our highlight of the week was Mad for Fun. Tulipeleka trooper pale Mad for Fun. We had a lot of fun with the trooper. Unfortunately ilipata kaishi tu kidogo, zile waya za rotary pump mbili zika earth, so we stalled kidogo, but we were able to rectify that and get back on the move. Again, this was an event to try and test out the trooper before a major adventure that tutawaambia of very soon. Now, wafadhili wa Konnekt Live wa kwanza ni Grande Motor Imports, Mr. Tom mwenyewe, who we have been working with for the better part of this year, and we have managed to import several units with him, part of which you'll be seeing the documented process soon on your screens hapa Auto Konnekt Kenya. So the review last Monday was basically the trooper experience at Mad for Fun. Now very soon you're also going to see there's something we have done. So actually it's a special feature we have done on if you want to buy a matatu or a van for corporate hire, we have some insights for you. We did a video with a very wise gentleman named Solomon from Prince Drive Logistics, and he had some insights for you, and even why he decides to choose the Toyota Hiace over the Nissan NV350. So you'll be able to get that very soon. The other thing that you will be able to come across on the channel is an up close and candid review of the Mazda CX-30. So we have a lot of content lined up for you, content that again will give you an alluring motor vehicle experience. So now let's get down with today's mid-month Q&A premiere, na tunaanza na salamu. Nani wameingia hapa? Naona Moriuki Marigi saying good evening, CK. The trooper performed extremely well, far much better than some highly modified vehicles. Also drove itself out of the track, unlike some Pumas and Wranglers that had to be towed. Hiyo ni ukweli. Na by the way, ni vizuri mkuwe mnaona hizi vitu. One thing about the biggest advantage that the trooper has, our particular trooper has a 4-speed manual transmission with a 2-speed transfer case. So we may not have an advantage on power, because when it comes to power, our engine is a bit underpowered, but we have an advantage when it comes to torque and gearing. So hapo ndipo, hiyo ndio game changer, na ukicheza na hiyo vizuri, ukijua kuguza the good spots, then the vehicle will it will outdo most modern 4-wheel drive vehicles. And the interesting thing about this year's Mad for Fun, the 3.2, was we saw a lot of Suzukis doing things that are unimaginable. Kuna Suzuki moja KXF, again it shares the year of manufacture with our trooper. They are both 1985, and they did spectacularly well. So si lazima gari yako ikuwe mpya. For wheeling is more of a man and machine. You need to understand your vehicle before you go into the mud or before you go into the ruts. We went to a drag strip na tuliwekwa head to head na a Prado J95, and luckily we were able to smoke the J95 both on the easy track and on the hard track. So yeah, sometimes it's all about kujiamini, kuamini gari yako na kujua gari yako. So yeah, Muriuki, that was very accurate. Achieng Frederick anasema kondani kama Kawa Benson Otonda. Hey Rico, tuned it, the trooper was smoky. Gari mzee lazima ikuwe inatoa moshi kidogo bana. Hii gari haina DPF, haina EGR, haina nini nyingine, haina catalytic converter. What do you expect, my friend? Hii moshi inatoka venye iko kwa sili. Unaona venye after kwa exhaust stroke pale kwa engine, hiyo moshi ndivyo inakutokea pale nje. And now they sometimes you see, if you want to get maximum power, there's some tweaking you do. You add the fuel. Remember, unlike when the trooper went to Mount Elgon without the turbocharger, Here it had a turbocharger, so we had to adjust the fuel pump kidogo ipatie mafuta mingi kidogo. So yes, smoke ni kawaida. And you see, even with these Land Rovers with 300 TDI engines, hiyo gari ukiikanyaga lazima itatoa moshi. So you see, you better smoke cars and not smoke drugs. Twende kwa Moses Mwangi anasema tuned in from Gikambura. Karibu sana Moses. We have Peter Nganga locked in from KSA. KSA ni Kasarani, KSA ni ama ni Kismayu. Okay. Hi Wakabi, Monster from Sotik tuko ndani. Karibu sana Monster. We have Samuel Andati. Do you have car leasing in Kenya? Would you recommend car leasing compared to purchasing? Samuel, yes, we have car leasing in Kenya. We have companies like Avis that are doing car leasing. Car leasing, it depends on how you look at it. It might be more expensive than purchasing a car in the long run, but it gives you peace of mind because unakumbuka hii gari siwe unalipia insurance, hii gari siwe unatengeneza. So you have the car in a hassle free way. So but it's not also cheap. So it depends on how you look at it, and that is why the government in the recent years has chosen to go into leasing other than going into buying these cars. We have nani mwingine harmless level nasema tuned in from Afghanistan. Lamek Odero, nice job Wakabi, mad for fun was lit, asante sana. We have Josh Homan, karibu sana Josh Homan. Josh Homan is always in the list of the people who are watching Konnekt live. Then James Muni no, James Muni anasema tuned in from Ng'ombe hapo Ng'ombe kuna town nyingine hapo pia inaitangwa Kihewa Godho. So so you can tell us, utasalimia mafans wa hapo. Bobby Mugambi, greetings from Banana 106. Niliwaambia story ya watu wa Banana. Watu wa Banana ni either akuwe ako na scar mahali ama akuwe hana meno moja. Sana sana wanaume. Sijui nini inaendeleanga Banana, but it's a good town. It's very serene, it's very ambient. Kuna hewa safi, kuna ma3 tamu sana, ma Nissan Caravan huko, ma TD27 zinatesa sana Bano 106. Tuende kwa who else? Identity Rides, karibu sana Identity Rides. James Mwenye anasema KSA ni Saudi Arabia, asante sana. Straight outer Saudia. Gidi Anton tuned in from Juba SSD, karibu sana Gidi. Peter Nganga, hiyo nimeelewa leo at least nimejua kitu. Fighting Chef anasema tuned in from Infinity Ruai. Ruai is a good place, lakini nayo kukinyesha huko kama kuna 4 wheel. Alafu unajua Ruai ni kule unanuanga shamba. This is the best time to actually buy land in Ruai, sababu unaweza enda ununue mto. So mkinunua shamba Ruai, ongeeni na watu kama Bobby Mugambi ama kama Fighting Chef. Bobby Mugambi anasema haya, which one would you choose between a Toyota Carina E70 and a Toyota Mark II? Well, I would go for the Mark II simply because ni Mark II, which generation? Is it the GX110 or is it the earlier generation? But I do love the Mark II because of comfort. That is one, and the reliability aspect of it. The Carina is also Carina pia iko very inaitwa nini, it is also a very reliable vehicle, but it's front wheel drive. Now the Mark II is rear wheel drive, and that's a significant difference especially for enthusiasts. Lakini sasa watu wa kuenda from point A to point B, kuna watu hata wajuange kama gari ni front wheel drive ama ni rear wheel drive. You have Eric Amande anasema tuned in from Grande Motor Imports, na kama unataka sellotape, kuna huyo ni supplier mkubwa sana wa sellotape, anaitwa engineer Eric Kamande. Producer Nyerere anasema salamu from Thika, tulisema dates ni gani huku? Nyerere, hiyo maneno ya dates tutazungumza hivi karibuni. We also have James Nyuguna from Dondori kwa Kiongo. Dondori kwa Kiongo, pale kwa ile barabara iko na kona place, iko na baridi sana huko. Kama hukunywi chai asubuhi then sijui kama utasurvive huko Dondori. Dunuri pia iko na watu wako na sifa fulani yenye sitataja hapa. Let's see, Ronaldo Chronicles, best of the best. Eric Okabi, asante sana. Justoni from Kazma, Kuwait, karibu sana Justoni. We have Vince Bryan is asking a very interesting question here. Can a Nissan Tiana V6 be good for first time car, and can someone maintain it with a 50k salary? If not, which can be compared to it? If you're getting the Nissan Tiana, especially hapo kwa salary, naona kama inaweza, because one thing about the Nissan Tiana, the V6 ones, is that they will consume quite a lot of fuel. So hiyo si gari ya kuanza na 50k. If you get the 200 JK, the one with the 2 liter, it might serve you in a better way, itakupatia fuel economy better. But to start with a Tiana, hata heri ununue Mark 2. Hiyo mafuta inakunywa, it has a drinking problem, as we had said the other day. Who else here? Nani yuko anasema Metro News anaanza, how reliable is the Mercedes-Benz M274 engine in terms of long-term performance and common issues? M274 is a reliable motor. It has been tried and tested. Common issues ni vitu kama leakages. Those are common issues. If sana sana, that is what is known. And also, you have to be very keen on the timing kit. Sababu hizo matension sometimes will fail, but generally it is a reliable motor. Arapia Gon is here and he's saying, hi Eric, I'm back. Is it okay to upgrade from 185 70 R14 to 205 60 R15 in an NZD? Ngoja ati amesema nini? Okay, in an NZD, which is the best upgrade fit? One, Arapiegon, if you're upgrading the tires, one thing you have to do, and one thing people forget, is make sure tire yako ina fit na ukikata haiguzi. Haiguzi on the sides. Also, you might make sure that the tires will not affect the suspension. That is also something else. If you need to achieve ground clearance, the best thing is jaribu kucheza na springs. It's safer, it's less expensive, because if you're changing from size 15 to size 16, it means you're also going to change the wheel size, no, the rim size. So hapo utapigwa dent ya kununua tire na dent ya kununua rim. So it is cheaper to actually do what are they called? It's cheaper to actually do an upgrade on the springs, other than doing an upgrade on the tires themselves. Yes, you can do it, but it's in the long run, it's more expensive. It's more expensive. Na James Courage, hey, from Kino hapa, Toyota Noah second gen with a 2ZR and 3ZR Valvematic, which is better and why? And 1800cc VVTi or 2000cc Valvematic for the Noah, which is more economical. Second gen Noah 3ZR, mimi I would go for 3ZR. Is a 2 liter, has more power. 3ZR iko na more power, it's quite efficient, but again, some of these, when it comes to Noahs, unajua kuna watu wanataka hiyo gari ibebe watu 7 wamekula adults, na bebe gunia ya mahindi hapo nyuma na bado impatie 16 kilometers to the liter. Hiyo ni ndoto ya mchana bana. No, as long as iko loaded, it will not give you above 13 kilometers to the liter. Trust me. In fact, 13 utakuwa very, very lucky. And with the Noah, with the 2 liter, it will be far much. It might have an edge over the 2 liter, especially if it is sitting 7 passengers. Tuko pamoja? Haya, kuna James Bunyi anasema, kwani laptop ya Dell imechoka juu ya moshi ya trooper? Sasa hii swali nataka kuijibu in a very polite way. Pia yeye naweza, unajua sasa heri moshi ya trooper kushinda moshi ya zile vitu zingine watu huvuta. So James Munyi, ukikunywa maziwa kidogo tu utaweza kuwatch show vizuri. Sawa sawa. Collins Tongoch is tuned in from Syokimau. Collins, karibu sana. He's always here right on time. Who else? Onesmus Musyoki, what do you think of the 2010 Toyota Belter? Belters are good cars if they are not coming in 1000cc. belter kununua mzuri, tafadhali nunua ya 1300cc. The 1000cc sometimes can be quite a disappointment. Harmless level, hi Wakabi, what's your take in purchasing Land Cruiser 76 series as a first time car owner? Woi. I always tell people you can never go wrong with a Land Cruiser. Lakini yes, Land Cruisers, especially the 76 series, they are 76 by the kwa Land Cruiser kuna 79 yenye inakuanga pickup. It can either come a single cab or a double cab. There is the 76 which is the hardtop ama the station wagon, alafu kuna ile ingine inakuanga troop carrier. So the biggest difference between the pickup and the 79 and the 76 is that the 76 has a more refined suspension at the back because it is tailor-made towards carrying passengers. However, it is a good car, very good car. If you kill a 76, then hata ndoa huwezi weka. You know, killing a 76 is like I don't know, because that, especially if it comes with the 1HZ engine, it's going to be very hard to kill that engine. Well, what are the setbacks of owning a 76 as a first time car owner? Well, the pros is that it's very reliable, it will rarely break down. But the setback is, if it comes with the 1HZ, avoid the one with the 1VD, because the 1VD, yes, it is powerful, but it's not, the 1VD is not a very, if you talk to most Land Cruiser purists, they'll tell you that the 1VD actually has a bit of some problems here and there. But the cons of the Land Cruiser 76, one of them is that it is very expensive to maintain. Which is a Land Cruiser, especially 76, 79, 80, 100, they are very expensive. They are expensive because of the demand, but otherwise hiyo ni gari mzuri sana, na before ivunje kitu itakaa sana. Let's see. Jasper Emmanuel anasema, is a Mercedes-Benz A180 W176 easy to maintain, or should I go for Mazda 3 for a first time car owner? Jasper, just go for the Mazda 3. For now, if it's a first time car owner, start with the Mazda 3. That will be honest advice from a brother. Tuende kwa James Jungunda. Wakabi, siku hizi watu wa Dondori tumechanuka. What do you have to say about to electric to a China to a zero mileage? The Chinese are good with electric cars, and those cars actually make a lot of sense, especially if you're going for, you know, short hauls. Hapa na pale uendi mbali, unapiga 2 laps at all. They are awesome cars. And you know, one thing about electric vehicles is that they have fewer moving parts, so meaning you spend less when it comes to maintaining those vehicles. Bobby Mugambi anasema, alafu kuna watu kama mimi tunakaanga miaka before tusalimiwe na ladies. Tuletee moja angalau atuambie good evening. Bobby Mugambi, tulikuwa tumeleta nyambu hapa wa fake out, okay? Lakini kama unataka dem, sitaki kuanza hiyo biashara ya kutafutia watu, lakini tutaleta msichana hapa tuongee naye mambo mawili matatu, probably next week nitawatafutia dem, sawa sawa. I wish, anyway. Acha nisianze biashara. Francis anasema, what car should I go for between a Subaru Levogue or a Toyota Corolla Sport as a first time car owner? I'll tell you about Francis. I'll tell you one thing, something that not many people will tell you about the Levogue. The Levogue looks good. It's a fast car, but the turbocharged one with the FA16 engines, they are not very reliable, and they are very sensitive to oil, but they look good, ni gari fiti, but they are also very expensive to maintain. So you would be safer with a Corolla Sport. We have driven the Corolla Sport. Is an awesome vehicle. It's very economical, and it's, you know, it lives up to the Toyota's legacy of reliability. And if you want a little bit of punch, you can buy the one with the 8NR, with the 1200cc 8NR turbocharged engine. Hiyo utasikia kanaenda kanasonga kama kale ka hybrid kanasonga, na hii ya turbo pia inajikakamua, inatoa miguu kwa gunia sawa sawa. So I would think in terms of reliability, you'd be safer with a Corolla Sport as opposed to a Subaru Levogue. Tuende kwa Jasper Emmanuel, what about the reliability of the M271? I think the biggest difference between the M271 and the 274 is the orientation, because inaitangwa 271 wakati iko in front wheel drive application and 274 ikiwa in rear wheel drive application. Yeah, kama sijakosea, that should be the major difference, eh? But correct me if I'm wrong. If anyone has any other difference between the M271 and the 274, you can put it in the comment, if I'm wrong. But I think the 271 and the 274, the difference is in the mounting orientation. 271 and 274, yeah. So high tech auto sales volume iko down buda. Volume iko down kweli? Hapana, wewe high tech bana, ongeza volume kwa nini yako bana. Hi Eric, tuned in from Gara, Nairobi. Is the Subaru Impreza Sport Sedan good as a first time car? And what is its reliability and maintenance probability? Alex Juguna, tuambie which generation of the Subaru Impreza, because there are so many. Kuna zile radiator unafanya kuweka mayai na kuna zingine that are reliable, because we need to talk also about the engine that it comes with. So tupatie mwaka hapo. Justin anasema hello mwalimu, Honda Accord with IV Tech 2.5 liter V6 coupe, is it a good for a first time car? If you don't, kama huangalii mafuta, it's a perfect car, because Honda high revving engines, they are nice. You can rev them to almost 6,000 rpm and they'll handle it just well. But unajua, the higher the revs, the more the fuel economy inaenda chini. Yeah, sawa sawa. So Victor Mark, Hewo Kabi, big up for enlightening us on car queries. My question is, Pajero Shogun 2004 2005, is it a good idea? Mbona hazina hype? The petrol ones are very thirsty. The diesel ones sometimes are quite problematic, especially if they come with the 4M40 engine. Kama unataka Pajero, and this is advice, if you want a Pajero, especially those that 2004 2006 they're about, get one with a 4D56, a good 4D56, then get a good mechanic. Kwa Pajero sana sana shida inakuanga mafundi, and also Pajero parts are also not cheap, eh? Most SUV parts are not cheap. Tuendelee. Slant TV anasema ako ndani kabisa. Victor Mark ako wapi? Victor Mark anasema okay. Victor Mark nimekujibu. Slant TV anauliza, if I wanted to buy a car kule Jamhuri, would you guys accompany me for inspection? Well, Victor Mark, mostly Sundays zinakuanga siku za kuchila, but what you do, you can go to Jamhuri, identify a car yenye umependa, then the following day on Monday morning saa 2 sisi tuko hapo tunaiangalia, sawa sawa. So you can do the identification, and then we on Monday ni siku ya kazi, you can link us up, or you can link up with the owner, atuambie gari iko wapi, sisi tuanguka pale, tuta inspect vizuri to make sure umenunua gari mzuri, na ni vizuri hununui gari kama mbuzi. It's always good to do some due diligence. Muraya Kimani, what is your advice on installing a roof rack on a car without rails? I need somewhere to store luggage from my spare tire for long distance trip. Roof rack inakuanga it's actually a very good accessory. It comes in very handy, especially for guys with SUVs, four-wheel drive SUVs. You can do a roof rack, but the mounting point is what really matters. Usidunge gari. There are those that have rubber mountings, and I think those are the best because they do not interfere with the roof of the vehicle. Producer Nyerere, seeing more Suzuki vehicles coming to Kenya market. Kuna kitu watu wanajua na hatujui, ama bei ya Mazda imepanda. Which particular Suzuki? Peter Nyerere, which particular Suzuki? Machario Angunyu, what's your take on Toyota Aqua Hybrid? Is it convenient for long distance movement, Mombasa to Nairobi and such distances? Machario, yes, the Aqua is actually very, very, very capable. Roman, Jambo Okabi, can you advise somebody to buy a Kenyan used Toyota Axio Hybrid? If it's clean and if the hybrid system passes the test, na iko sawa, you can buy it. But you have to thoroughly inspect even the hybrid unit of that vehicle. Hesbon Nyamete, Eric? I'm fine, thank you. My question is, what is the difference between Subaru GG2 and the Subaru GG3? One inakuanga engine displacement, if I'm not wrong. The other one, the most significant one is engine displacement. One is a 1.5 liter, the other one is a 2 liter. Then I think, if I'm not wrong, one of them is two wheel, the other one is all wheel drive. Yeah, that's a significant difference between the two of them. Kevin Omondi, shout out my bro, Brighto from Kasarani, great show. Karibu sana. Brighto, naona umesalimiwa na Kevin Omondi. Na najua hapa the funny thing, Wajaluo ndio wanatuma salamu. Waluya kwani hamtumangi salamu? Luyas, you're losing your culture. Eh? Julius Anari, hello Kabi. Advice on Mazda Atenza or Axela. Second car, I had an Auris 1500cc 2009. Not a speed guy, just a point A to point B. Looking for reliability, fuel economy, and a little bit of class with a budget. Now, the difference between Atenza and Axela mostly is size, so and budget. So kama unaweza fika bei ya Atenza, go for Atenza. Kama hufiki bei, go for Axela, because there's a difference of almost 400 to 500,000 between the price of the Axela and the price of the Atenza. So it's all about budget. Both are good cars, only that the Atenza is bigger than the Axela. And as from 2018, the Axela is known as the Mazda 3, the Atenza is known as the Mazda 6. Francis Derito, hey Eric, please talk about the NV200 or Probox for a first time business car owner in terms of reliability and fuel efficiency. The Probox and the NV200, that is a very interesting debate, and I say that for this reason. The NV200 has become a favorite to many because it's arguably more versatile compared to a Probox. First of all, most NV200s come with either a manual transmission or or four speed automatic transmission. So hazinanga shida ya gear. They are bigger than the Probox, and they have more or less the same engine capacity. The most NV200s will come with a 1600cc, the Probox will come with a 1500cc. The NV200 has way much more space, and the Probox is way smaller, especially ukiona bei mtu ananunua Probox na ile bei unaweza nunua NV200. So I will tell you, buy the NV200 without fear. Sasa because it's generally a good car, and that is why umeona hata bei za NV200 zinaendelea kupanda. Chalo Mbugwa, hello Okabi, as a first time car owner, ni fiti kununua gari iko over 200 horsepower or is it too powerful? Unajua unaweza kuwa first time car owner lakini you are not a first time driver. Unaweza kuwa umeendesha magari mingi, uko na experience on the road. So there's a thin line between being a first time car owner and being a first time driver. Kama wewe ni driver, kama ndio umetoka driving school, then 200 horsepower might be too much for a start, and especially juu ya hiyo excitement. But kama ni first time car owner na umeendesha magari, why not do 200 horsepower? Victor Mark, BMW M57 engine, is it as reliable as the Land Cruiser engines? M57 is not reliable, but nowhere near Land Cruiser reliability, especially the 1HZ and the 1HD. Sidhani M57 kitu inapendewa ni nguvu, and looking at it from a BMW perspective, it's reliable in BMW terms. And that is why you'll find most people are swapping M57s in unreliable vehicles such as Discoveries and underpowered vehicles such as Defenders. Lakini sasa, when you talk about reliability and you're talking about a BMW engine, bwana, you see, some of these Land Cruiser engines can actually survive an apocalypse. Yeah, so I don't think we can compare the M57 to some of these other bana, ni kama compare nini, wacha nisitubie political examples. Vince Bryan, could you expound more on the Mark II in terms of fuel economy and power? Mark II comes in a variety of engines. You have the Beams 2000, which is the 1GR FE. You have the naturally aspirated 1JZ, the 2.5 liter. Some of them come with the 1JZ turbo. So it depends on the engine that it comes with, but most of them will come with the 1G. The 1G, I can say it's not the best in terms of fuel economy, but it's a very reliable motor. Only that ikiwa under a very high mileage, it will you'll need to do an overhaul sababu inaanzanga kuburn oil. Again, that is a maintenance issue, and every engine is bound to burn oil at some point in time. So yes, in terms of reliability it's good. Fuel economy, I would say it's relative, because ukifurahishwa na hiyo sauti ya engine, itakunywa sana. Joshua, mkuu, natafuta gari sio mzee, ni build ya tours. Hiyo si gari ya tours, ni Land Cruiser baba. Tafuta Land Cruiser. Nikron Bubei, Kibunei, good evening Eric, good work kutuchanua hapa. Though I have though you have though through you I have avoided Unjaja town in matters automotive. How is the Nissan Tida 2010? The Nissan Tida 2010 is actually one reason why I like the Tida 2010 is that it's affordable. It is very affordable, and it is a car that is very easy to maintain. Reason is, why am I saying it's very easy to maintain? Last week there's a client of ours tulimswapia engine ya Nissan Tida, and tukawekea content, na kwa hiyo engine ya Nissan Tida tukawaambia tumefungua service center pale Eldoret, inaitwa Neon Mobility, na Neon Mobility iko pale Pioneer. Pale Pioneer, wote ukiweka kwa Google Maps Neon Mobility itakupeleka hadi pale. So watu wa Eldoret, we got you covered. Now, I was talking about the Tida, and I related it to Neon Mobility because of that particular aspect. Now, Tida, we got the slim engine for 40,000. The gearbox goes for like 45,000. It's Tida, hata iharibu kitu, you would not be very worried, because it's a vehicle that hata badala ya kufanya engine overhaul, you just buy another engine. They are actually very, very cheap to keep. So it's not a car that you would be very worried to have. And again, it's economical. Ni gari mzuri sana ya point A to point B. And now the 2010 ones, you're getting them for like 450,000 to 500,000. So that makes it a very affordable car to actually have and keep around for family errands. Billy Kiplagat, hey, Subaru Brat, is it good for a project? The Brat is an awesome project, but you're going to have a hard time looking for parts. Parts za Brat hazikuangi mingi. But it's an exciting project if you have the zeal to do it. Nick Ariwi, hello Eric. Do you need to do a DPF delete for Mazda CX-5 diesel 2019? Definitely. Kama hutumii hiyo gari sana, DPF delete is for any vehicle that comes with a DPF. Sababu, in the long run, the DPF might clog if your vehicle does not generate the DPF frequently. So if you do not want to do a DPF delete, the other thing you can do is drive your car at highway speeds once in a while. Sawa sawa. Who else? Chalo Mbua tumejibu hiyo swali. Kevin Ayeko, hello Okabi, I'm looking for a bit of luxury and performance and reliability with a budget of 2.5 million. Should I go for the Volvo S60 or the Skyline Infinity? Naishi Makueni, napenda kwenda Ushago Kisii. Hapo mimi nitaingia upande wa Skyline. Nitaingia upande wa Skyline hapo. Alex Niguna was asking for the Impreza 2018 model. Now, Impreza 2018 model is actually very good, especially if you get it with the FB20 engine. FB20 itakuwa sawa, FB16 itakuwa sawa. The problem with the FB16 is that you can get it in the more basic Imprezas, but from 2018 that Impreza is quite reliable. It's a good car. Ni gari yenye unaweza kwa barabara for a long time, it will serve you for long. So yes, that's a good iko sawa. With the introduction of automated speed traps, what's the purpose of 240 kilometer odometers? Samuel Andati, there's something I would also like to tell people. Unajua, have you ever found a Nissan Sylphy yenye speedometer imefika to 20? Sasa Singapore prime imefika to 20, but some of those are theoretical top speeds. Most cars you'll find the top speeds are 180. Not even 180 for many vehicles is a theoretical top speed. So at 240 hata unaendeshea wapi on Kenyan roads? Actually most of the times we buy cars that we do not need. because imagine you're traveling from say Nairobi to Nakuru, utaflex wapi gari yako ya 250 horsepower? Sometimes it beats logic. Tuende Sheriff. Hello CK. Converting a Land Rover 110 to an EV, wise idea to avoid old engine problems or just to have the rugged body in an EV? Sheriff, that depends. For me, I would not do that because I would prefer the old rugged Land Rover with old engine problems. That is what makes it beautiful. But if you're an EV person, then why not? Uh, sawa. Alafu sana manze, una convert Land Rover ikuwe EV alafu. One thing I've never understood, you still get to keep four wheel because it's not a Land Rover if it's not four wheel drive. Great Mutisha anasema hello Eric, is the Toyota Crown a good car for a first time car owner? Kuna review ulisema drivers tunaingia msituni juu ya rear wheel drive. Yes, the Crown is a good car for a first time car owner, but the good thing is that the Crown has traction control. So but ukicheza nayo vibaya, especially kwa matope ama kwa slippery road, inaweza kufanya majambos. It needs a but these days with traction control and electronic brake distribution, I don't think it should be a danger. So yeah, it's a great car. Moses Owor, hello. What do you have to say about Subaru Forester e-Boxer? The e-Boxer, in terms of looking at it as a hybrid, I would call it hot air because the Subaru Forester e-Boxer is actually very reliable, but it's a mild hybrid. Mild hybrid means it cannot run fully on EV mode, and the other thing is, being an e-Boxer, the purpose of the integrated starter generator, because it does not have a battery pack. That's the other thing about this mild hybrid. So what happens is that it only its hybrid unit assists the vehicle while coasting na start and stop na vitu zingine kidogo kidogo, because I've driven that e-Boxer and it gives you around 13 kilometers to the liter. So why do you have to call it hybrid in the first place? Si hata ukae tu na Subaru Forester yako 2.5 liter na ikupatie 12 kilometers to the liter. Anyway, tuendelee. Great Mutish, no, hiyo nimejibu. Fred Iraki anasema compare the 2018 XV RVR and Vezel in terms of reliability, cost of maintenance. Now, the RVR, it has Mitsubishi's CVT transmission, which is a Jatco CVT transmission. The RVR is one car that I have never found. It's slow in the first place. It does not have the best of the build quality. It's quite noisy in the inside. The Vezel, I've never found value in a Vezel. With between these three cars, I would actually go for the XV. The XV is more of a lifted Impreza. It might not have that big look. Unajua wase wengi wanasemanga size matters, especially Kenyans, but not in everything. There is no need to have. Alafu, the other thing is that these Vezels and these RVRs, most of them are two-wheel drive. With an XV, you get it standard with the symmetrical all-wheel drive. So that's why I would go with the XV anytime. Timothy Chalo, hi Eric, between the Nissan Skyline and the Subaru Legacy B4, which one would you recommend for a first-time car buyer? Now, the Skyline has some obvious advantages in terms of performance over the Subaru. Hiyo Subaru Legacy B4 hiyo ni kukunywa tu. Ikimbiangi sana, it has a big engine, and that's why it's not very popular. So the Skyline looks better, drives better, has a better interior build quality, and if you buy the 200 GTT, it comes with a Mercedes-Benz engine, a Mercedes-Benz gearbox, and a Mercedes-Benz. Yani, it's a Mercedes-Benz on a budget. Ni body tu imewekwa hapo ya Nissan. So yeah, I would go, and that's why people are avoiding the G4. Sabu it's not value for money. Yeah, hata badala ya kununua G4, you'd rather just go with a Mazda 6. Tuendelee. Steve Kaiser anasema vipi Wakabi, VW Passat for first time car owner thoughts? The Passat is a great car, especially the BA. It looks very nice. It's very stylish. It's very economical on fuel, the 1.4 TSI. The only thing is that when you get yourself a Passat, just have it in mind that the parts for a Passat are not the cheapest in the market. But again, uh, technical support is upcoming. Siku hizi tuko na mamekanik wengi sana wa VW, so you do not have to be afraid to buy a Passat as a first time car owner. Sawa sawa. Na siku hizi kuna WhatsApp group za VW owners, so unaweza ingia pale, also get to know what people do. They will refer you to mechanics, so these groups are actually also helping quite a lot. Twende Vincent Otieno, your review about the Suzuki Ciaz. The Ciaz is actually a very good vehicle. Recently it was rebadged to be called a Toyota Belter, but it's the same Ciaz. Good engine, very reliable, ni gari haina maneno mingi. It's a vehicle that can serve you for a very long time, so the Ciaz is quite a good car. Stephen Kule, I really admire your car reviews. I like Mazda Atenza, but ground clearance is the major setback. Is it possible to improve the ground clearance without affecting the stability or the comfort? Now, gari kama Mazda Atenza si gari ya kuinua. That is something I'll tell you. Ukiinua hiyo gari itakaa sura mbaya sana. So hiyo ni gari ya kutembea tu na hiyo gari venye iko. The wheels are big enough. So kama ni clearance, most of those sedans do not have good clearance. And the moment you try, yes, it's possible kuziinua, but they end up looking funny. Stanley Njiguna, how is a Nissan Sylphy for a first time car owner? It's not bad. In fact, it's very affordable, but you have to be aware that the gearboxes of the most Nissans have that gearbox problem, and especially the current Sylphy. In fact, it is very fast, but you need to be very aware. You need to be very meticulous with your service, and also be ingia groups za watu wa Nissan. Hiyo ni kitu ingine nitakwambia, sababu kuna tushida tu tunakujanga tu. Support group ni very important. Sawa sawa. Sylphy is actually one of the most affordable vehicles that we have around. Let's see. Luboa, thanks for the wonderful review of the Mark II Grande. I fell for it. Some more advice here in English to the Ugandan community. My Ugandan friends, the Mark II is a good car. I drive one of them. I love it. I'm not letting it go anytime soon. It's very comfortable. But the Ugandans have good cars. Ugandans have Toyota Progress. Ugandans have Toyota Brevis. Ugandans have. By the way, if you're in Uganda, my friend, WhatsApp us on our number 0710 844 844 811. Inakuanga gani hiyo namba yetu? Plus two, yes, it's plus 254 710 844 863. There is if you can get me Banange, if you can get me a progress that I can take off the engine, the gearbox, the diff, and the interior, I would be very happy. So our friend from Uganda, Luboa Stephen, talk to us. Drop me a message on WhatsApp. I'll try and respond to that. The number is on the screen, and also with the number being on the screen, if you have something called M-Pesa, you can also play with it, so that we can buy water for maji ya kunywa. Anyway, thank you so much, Sebo, for tuning in for Auto Konnekt. We are doing something for Uganda very soon. My Gen Z with experience will tell you we are trying to organize something for our brothers in Uganda. They make very good katogo and black tea with mujanja. So and no, they don't call it matoke. There is another matoke ni ya Wakisi. Matoke ni hapa Kisii. Sasa Steven Caesar, any engine recommendations a B15 projector for more power? If you're buying a B15, well, not unless for any engine swap that you do, especially with Nissans, you have to do some research, because if it's a manual transmission, gearbox yake ni ya rods, not cables, if I'm not wrong, especially with the B15. So the best engine would be an SR20. It will give you more power. And also look out for other Nissan engines that do not have an accelerator with a throttle positioning sensor. Get the ones with a cable. Even a QR20, I reckon it can fit. But does a QR20 have a mechanical throttle? Not really. Just get a 2 liter Nissan engine with a throttle with ile keboya throttle with the throttle, the one, the mechanical throttle, not the one with the throttle positioning sensor. um wewe maswali naona there are so many. Maswali ni mingi sana, maswali ni mingi sana. Okay, let me see. Jeffrey Mutie, what's your review on the Nissan Note or Mazda Demio for a first time car buyer? I would go for the Demio, but the Nissan Note has an advantage of space and price. Ngigi. Hi, Eric. Uh, is there a Mitsubishi Delica petrol with automatic transmission? Then what about the 4N14 engine balance shaft? No, there is no Delica petrol with an automatic. Most of them are CVT transmissions. The 4N14 balance shaft. I think sometimes you just have to buy a car and hope for the best, because kwanza hiyo kitu ikiharibika, that vehicle sounds very funny. uh, and you see now the reason why I say I love straight six engines is that they are naturally balanced. You do not need to have this balance shaft. But anyway, even the 4 and 4, the 4 and 14 can serve you. We have some people who it has served for quite some time. So if you get a clean one, it will serve you before it start giving you problems. Then when it gives you problems, just remove that engine, throw it away, and get another 4N14 from Dubai, slap it in, and do another 300,000 kilometers. So Benson Otonda, hi Eric, is Suzuki Escudo a good alternative for off-roading? What are the cons for the 2400cc? Now Escudo is a good car. They were built hardy for off-roading. The only big problem I have with the 2400cc is fuel consumption, and that is because most of them are mated to a 4-speed automatic transmission, which was a very bad idea. But the V6 ones had a 5-speed auto, I guess. Yeah, but if you can get a 2400 with a manual, it would be such a beautiful car to take off-roading. Reynes says, hello Okabi, is the Demio 1500cc petrol powerful enough or just get the diesel? Now, being powerful is quite relative. It is very relative, because if you get the 1500cc Demio, it depends on where your thrill is, because unajua kuna watu, if you're coming from a Vitz, it is powerful enough. If you have driven a diesel Demio, then the diesel Demio gives you that feel of torque. The inafanya usikie gari iko na mbio. It has a very thrilling drive, especially mated to that 6-speed auto. So yes, it depends on where you're coming from, because with the petrol one you will not feel that punch of power, but in terms of reliability itaishi hadi upatie vijana wako. That's the advantage of the Demio petrol. We have Samuel Joroge. Hi Eric, is there any difference between the 1KD Hilux and the one on the Prado? There are so many differences, and I think this is a question I answered the last week's show. Now, part of the differences between the 1KD on the Prado and the 1KD on the Hilux, in fact, the similarity is only the engine block. The sump is different. The injectors are different, and I think also sump is the biggest difference I know. The sump, the nozzles are different. The ECU is different. So there are some significant differences. 1KD 1KD2. I know it came with so many generations. So yes, they are not the same. The only thing that is same is the block only. Sawa. John Kiamba. Hi Eric, I really like your car reviews. Asante sana. It's very informative and interesting. Would like to see a review of the Nissan Navara and NP 300 double cab? We will definitely work on that. You'll get to see more of that, especially the Pro 4X Navara. It's quite a game changer in the dual cab market. Onesimus Mosioki, how much do you charge for pre-purchase inspection? For cars within Nairobi, we charge only 5,000 Kenya shillings. Maundo Kiteme anasema, Eric, buying an automatic W124 with the FD M102 as a day, is it good as is it a good daily? Hiyo mafuta itakunywa. Get one with the 111. If you get one with the triple one, it serve you better as a daily than the one with the FD. Chalombugwa, thank you, umejibu swali vizuri. Asante sana Chalombua. Uh, Gerard anasema, hey Eric, I'm Farah following the show. Would you kindly take a few minutes to explain how I can raise the ground clearance for my 2017 filter 2017 onwards, the pros and cons of the options? Now there are three major ways. One, increasing the tire profile, which is very useless because when you seat four passengers, you know the coil springs that come with a filter from Japan, and most cars they are very soft. So if you seat three passengers at the back, irrespective of you having a wheel that has a higher profile, it will still, sink in, itainama. The other way is using spacers. Most people do not like spacers, but the most accepted way, and I think the best way, would be using coil springs. But now, even if you're using coil springs, do not go for the heavy duty coil springs, because the vehicle might end up making some very funny noises, especially at the back, and it might end up being very uncomfortable. So you have to strike a balance between the softness and the length of the coil spring. And I will tell you that the coil spring is the best way to increase the ground clearance of a 2017 Toyota Fielder. Um, M Linus anasema, hello CK, between the VW Polo and the Peugeot 208, which is the better for a first time car owner? Now the Polo comes with a 1.2 liter TSI engine. The Peugeot 208 also comes with a 1.2 liter turbocharged engine, but the Polo has an upper hand in terms of power. The Polo has an upper hand in terms of technical support. Uh, I would Okay, there are some usual VW problems, but even the Peugeot 208 also has its fair share of problems. But in terms of even thrill, in terms of even the general look of the car, I would go for the Polo. I would go for the Polo. Personally, I would just go for the Polo as opposed to the 208, because sana sana because of power. But that does not mean the 208 is a bad car. The 208 is actually a nice car. Only that the the Polo has an upper hand when you're comparing it to the Peugeot 208. Crypto Forex Geek. Hi Eric, I've driven a 1.3 liter, 1.5 liter, and 1.8 liter engines. Looking to go for a 2 liter engine, specifically a 3ZR. Should I go for a Wish, Avensis, or Premio? I don't want tall cars like Noah. To be honest, I would suggest you go for the Premio, the G Superior 2.2 liter. I know this is funny coming from me, but that car is quite nice. Shida ni bei. If you do not fika bei for the Premio G Superior with a 2 liter engine, you can buy the Avensis. Yeah. Because they are more or less, they are no the Avensis is very well built. It's very well priced, and it also it's unique in a way. Yeah, at least with an Avensis you're not going to get vandalized when you leave it in the parking lot. Motivation for elevation nasema, eh, uh, I cannot, uh, the elevation fellow, please. mm, Oh, anasema huyo wa EV mtume Qtron Industries. Yes, you still keep the four-wheel drive. We have done several for parks and tours. Yeah, we would like to see that. You keep the four-wheel, but anyway, I personally, okay, I would like to see that swap, but that EV conversion, and get to see the four-wheel drive part of it. Also get to know the costings. Humphrey Toya. Hi Eric, I have an Nissan Ad HR15 engine with a 4-speed automatic gearbox. It's very reliable, so I'm contemplating to upgrade it to a car with a CVT. Which car would you suggest? Why? Why? And which car are you looking for? Are you looking for a sedan? Are you looking for a station wagon? Are you looking for a hatchback? Are you looking for a crossover SUV? Junior Kango Singh, hey Wakabi, nilikuwa na ile mod for fun competition. From your analysis, which are the best performance for off-roaders? I would say we saw so many cars, some of them heavily modified, others stock. And I would say mostly it would be hard to judge from Mad for Fun, because Mad for Fun, there are so many aspects at play. There is the driver skill, there is the weight of the vehicle, there is the tires the vehicle is running on. So there are so many things to actually, consider when you before we can judge which one was the best. And just remind you, we are filming from Grande Motor Imports, and we are in a partnership with Grande Motor Imports to make sure that you safely import your cars. And we are lucky to have imported a few units for some of our clients and some of the viewers when you want to watch live hapa. And we will continue to do that. And remember, Grande Motor Imports is offering warranties on Toyota hybrid vehicles. Imagine if you import any Toyota hybrid from Grande Motor Imports, you get a 16-month warranty on the hybrid unit. That's like 12 a whole year and 4 months. That's a good warranty, right? Also, remember, we offer services such as pre-purchase inspection, consultation, and also sourcing of motor vehicles. And now through Grande Motor Imports, we are also able to offer importation services. So you can always call us on the through the number that is on the screen. The other thing I would like to remind you is that the people of Eldoret, we have got you covered. We have our service center called Neon Mobility in Eldoret, pale hivyo Pioneer. So kama unahitaji service, kama gari yako imekupatia mushkili kidogo, kimbia pale, you will find a gentleman named Ezekiel and he will be of great help. Now, tuendelee. Eric, unaonaje Honda Airwave for first time car owner? It's a great car. Nalan Gadhe anasema, hi Okabi, would you buy the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV? If not the PHEV, fully electric, which would you buy? Personally, I'm not an Outlander PHEV fan. So hapo sikuangi sana, but anyway, the Outlander PHEV is not that I'm saying it's a bad car, only that I don't like them. Mimi napendanga gari yenye inaweza tengenezwa on the roadside by a roadside mechanic. That is my taste of cars. That's why I'll always go for Trooper, Mark II, Land Cruiser 75, 79, 76, 80 series. Gari yenye unaweza ita mtu akuja atengeneze. Unajua sasa gari zingine unakuja hapa lazima ibebwe na flatbed ipelekewe electrician. But anyway, the Outlander PHEV is a nice car. It's very close to an EV. Coach Bill 254, good evening. Good evening, hello Eric, asante sana. Kevin Omondi, what's your take on the Toyota Crown Athlete? Which generation of the Crown Athlete? Ngugi James, how much does the Toyota IQ cost in the Kenyan car market? I would have to find out on that. Bryce Fex F1, between Toyota Corolla Sport and VW Golf TSI, which one would you recommend for a first time car owner? The Corolla Sport, any day, anytime. How is a Nissan March 28 2010 model? Not good. Not good. Not good. Kevin Keegan, how is an Audi A1 for a first time car owner? I think the Audi A1 is one of the most un-Audi vehicles in the Audi family. I would prefer you go for a VW Polo. Jack Karuga, between the VW Golf TSI and the Polo and versus the Polo 2012-2014, which is best for a first time car owner? No, that is like asking between Mbosho na between beans and between zinaitwa nini? There are types of beans. Nani wanajua kuna yellow beans na kuna wairimo. It's like asking. But anyway, I think that is a question on which one can you afford, because the Golf is far much more expensive. It's more expensive compared to the Polo, and the Polo is also smaller. So it is already 9 p.m. I might not be able to answer all your queries, but I'm happy. Actually, umesema tuongeze nini? Tuongeze 2 minutes. 2 minutes hapa tutaweza kweli? Wacha niende zile za mwisho kabisa. Unajua hata Yesu alisema wenye watakuja wa kwanza ndio watakuwa mwisho, na alisema hivyo. Kuna kitu kama hiyo alisema. Rakim anasema, hey CK, which rear wheel drive car that's fun to drive and has a manual do you recommend for under 800? Hiyo swali ni ngumu sana, but sana ile gari nakuanga hapo ni Altiza. Altiza, Chaser, but it's very hard to find them in Kenya these days. Amfred Toya, station wagon still with an automatic gearbox. You have the Mazda Atenza wagon. That one has an automatic gearbox. Also, you have the Peugeot 308 station wagon. Pia hiyo iko na automatic gearbox, 6 speed pale. Ted Waguni anasema hi Wakabi, between the Mazda 2 1500cc diesel versus petrol, which one would you recommend? It will depend on application. Kama ni ya for town running, go for petrol. Kama ni ya long distances, go for diesel. Chepkemoi Masi, nice work Eric. Ni Mesh from Mombasa. Asante sana Mesh. We have Elton 16K20 engine fuel efficiency. It depends on which car it's on and also the transmission that vehicle is made, that engine is mated to, because the transmission makes a big difference. Peter M anasema 3 SFE Caldina burning oil. Any recommendations? Hiyo ni maneno ya kawaida sana. Peleka gari ikafanyiwe engine rebuild. Sawa sawa. You have to just do an engine rebuild. Mostly the rings are worn out or the valve seals are done. So if you do not want to buy a slim engine, just go and do a, you can do an overhaul. And I think Mr. Suleiman or Mr. Moura can be, these can be two people who can assist you with that. Stanley Kimaita, kazi safi bro, keep doing the great job. I'm taking notes. Nitakuona kando. Cheers bro, Kinoti hapa. Thank you so much Mr. Kinoti, asante sana for tuning in. Amos Inchwara anasema hello Wakabi, between the VW Tiguan and the Subaru XT, which one is better? I would go for the Tiguan. For the first time, I'm going for a VW. Anyway, guys, bwana director pale amasema the time is up, and thank you so much for joining us. Remember on Wednesday tunawaletea another live show, same time, same place, and thank you so much. So kumbukeni Grande Motor Imports hapa, na mkumbuke if you import a hybrid vehicle from Grande Motor Imports, a hybrid Toyota, you get a 16-month warranty. So, and also you're getting some good rates from Grande Motor Imports. We'll be doing some deliveries in the coming weeks, so stay tuned. Utaweza kuzipata. Sawa sawa. So, over and out from this side of town. See you next week, and be ready. By then we have a treat for you. By the end of the week, we'll have an extra episode for this week. So stay tuned. There is some good stuff, especially for the people who want to get into the transport business. Asante sana, over and out.